but I really understood the power of branding and standing out again above the crowd. And it was a conscious decision, to not only obviously post real estate stuff so people know what I'm doing and I'm in business, but I needed people to get to know me. Why am I different? Why would they work with me, a guy like me? That whole like, know, and trust.
Hey Derek, thanks
Hey,
for being on the show.
Shane, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, and
Awesome.
so I just wanted clarity. So is that without a comb, or is that your hair there? Is that
Yeah,
just the
apologies.
rough?
I can't find my comb. I just came from the gym, so you'll have to excuse my appearance.
I don't even own a comb. I gave up on that. It's just toss and go.
You're
So
you're blessed then. It looks good. It looks really good.
thanks. But yeah, anyway, thanks so much for being here today. I know we're going to talk about some other topics, but I just wanted to congratulate you. You just recently switched over to EXP Realty, correct?
I did. Yeah, I saw the light.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you've joined our cult. So
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, nothing but good things to say about my previous brokerage. I think it's a good company. All that stuff. Again, very very grateful. But like I said, I think I see bigger opportunity with the EXP, and I'm pumped to be here. So far, the support has been out of this world. So I'm excited.
yeah, no, that's awesome to see. I actually didn't know that when we first started chatting about doing the podcast, and then I saw the switch, and I was like, that's awesome. It'll give us a quick thing to touch on. But what I really wanted to talk about today was, man, like the reason I reached out was I've seen you just crushing it on social media. Like it's you really out there. I've seen a lot of content that has to do with real estate, but also a lot of personal content as well. And I was just wondering, was that like a conscious decision that you made? You're like I want to be more social, or does that just naturally happen for you?
So I would say a conscious decision for sure. Okay. So a little context in my previous career as a police officer, we're very, very, I would say, against social media, if you will. So it's very, very
Yeah,
frowned upon to tell your story, to let people get to know you. There's a whole different mindset about that as a police officer. So I never ever really posted a whole lot before, but when I became a realtor, I think I quickly understood that I needed to stand out amongst the other 6,000 realtors here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, right? So how does one do that? So years and years back, I played in a band. Believe it or not, I had long hair. I looked kind of cool. My kids don't think so, um, but I really understood the power of branding and standing out again above the crowd. And it was a conscious decision, to not only obviously post real estate stuff so people know what I'm doing and I'm in business, but I needed people to get to know me. Why am I different? Why would they work with me, a guy like me? That whole like, know, and trust,
yeah.
right? So
No, that's awesome. Yeah, because that's the thing people have to understand. Like, I'm glad we talked a little bit about the brokerage. Like, brokerage has a ton of tools for you, and
yeah,
there definitely could be different options out there. But what people have to understand is like you are the brand, and I've switched brokerages before, and I've never had someone be like, "Oh, I don't want to work with you now because you've changed brokerages." Like they cared about working with me specifically, right? And you really in real estate, like you are the brand, and people want to work with people they know, like, and trust, and like it's cool putting it out there. Like, question I have is, did you have some fear about it, or does that background of being in a band and you know obviously doing a job like being police where there's real dangers there where a lot of people have fear of picking up a phone and taking a video. It's not the same, but I'm just curious, like how do you get over that fear and just dive in and really put your life on display for people?
well, a few things, right? One person I follow on social, I won't say who, but he said something that really stood out. He said, to be successful, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And to be honest, when I first started really heavily pushing social media, yeah, I mean, I was afraid to get judged by my peers, especially my sphere of influence being cops. I was afraid to be, scrutinized, whatever. But I was getting more positive feedback than I was any negative feedback. And if you think I'm a one take guy, not true. I sometimes take 30 takes to get that decent little bit of footage. So some people are like, wow, you're a natural. Yeah, after 35 takes I am, right? But what I want to say to people, and realtors reach out to me almost daily, like, how you doing on social? I just do it. Sometimes it's good,
Mhm.
sometimes it's terrible. Sometimes I get thousands and thousands of views, sometimes I get hundreds of views, sometimes I get none, right? So I'm out, obviously I'm learning the game as we go,
I,
right?
I
But I'm
love
having
that.
a lot of
I
fun.
love that you have to do it, right? Like that's the thing. So
Good.
many people, they sit, they overanalyze, they think about it, they want to do it, and then they don't take action. And time goes by, and then they find a narrative of why they shouldn't do it, right? But if you just do it, and like you said, you get the thought and you do it, and now maybe it takes you a bunch of times to get it right, but by taking that action and doing it that first take that maybe sucked, a lot of people when they start doing so, yeah, it sucked, but that's okay. You're going to get better at it if you keep doing it. If you just sit around and complain, you're not going to get better, right? And so just taking that first step is huge, and I mean that'll pay dividends for you in your social media, but also just working with clients, right? Just being the kind of person that takes action.
Totally. When I first got in sales, way before policing, actually, way back in a different life, someone said to me this really cool analogy. It's a baseball analogy. He said, you gotta love rejection. And he goes, here's why: a professional baseball player who hits 3 balls out of 10, who's batting 300%, is an all-star, making billions of dollars. So don't worry about 7 no's. Eventually, you get 3 yeses. And that gave me so much confidence, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, with video, social, you know what? If I get some negative, whatever. But if I get that positive, it's all going to work out. And my whole business is based on social media right now, and it's been
Mhm.
a very, very good little run. So I'm very, very grateful.
What what platforms are you actively using right now? I found you on Instagram, but do you have any others that you use?
So Instagram is probably my main. Everything I post on Instagram automatically goes to Facebook,
Yeah,
which is great. I recently started to explore TikTok, and my 9-year-old is teaching me how to use that.
I'm glad to hear that.
And
That's the place to
right,
be right now. Yeah.
TikTok right now is going to explode. I think we need to be on there as realtors. And I'm trying to understand LinkedIn as well. But
Mhm.
it's, as you know, we all get busy, and it's hard to kind of be on everything. But I think we need to dedicate a little piece every day, like an hour a day, and just hammer out social media and be intentional about it. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, because I'm not the most organized guy.
But yeah, just having that time set apart, like maybe you don't have a calendar of things that you're going to put out there, but just having it in your schedule to go and be like, look, I'm going to devote half an hour here to putting
Yeah,
something out there on social media. And, just having that intentional, I mean, your audience is going to see that you're doing that intentionally to provide that value to them. And thing is like it's really cool what you're doing with the behind the scenes. And that's the thing that I love to see. And I know everyone else does because like my wife loves watching Selling Sunset. I said my wife, I'm
yeah,
there watching it too. I'm just blaming it on her that we watch it. But anyway, people watch it not necessarily for the actual like real estate deals, right? It's all the drama behind the scenes. It's
yeah.
what a realtor's life looks like. Like that's what people are interested to see. And I like that's what I found on your social medias. It's like, yeah, there's real estate advice in there. Yeah, I'm learning stuff, but I'm also seeing like, okay, what is he like as a person? What does his day look like? Was that is that something that now comes pretty easy to share with people, or do you still have some reservations from your
No,
past
no.
op?
My family understands this is kind of what I do, what I like to do. My girlfriend's all over my social media. She's very, very shy, right? So, but she supports it. Um, and I just tell her, like, you know what? I'm not going to post market reports. I'm not going to post the same. content as everybody else, right? I'm
You
gonna
don't have those
post.
templated things. It's like there was this many sales, right? Like,
Yeah, me personally, I find it so incredibly boring. I mean, no offense to anybody. I mean, great job, right? But for me, like, I want to see good content. I want to see someone's personality. And there's a few realtors out there that are hilarious and they post hilarious stuff, and I can't wait to see their next post. And that's who
yeah,
I want to be, right? Um, I want people to see me, what I'm like behind the scenes, and what you see is what you get. And when I get a buyer lead, someone will reach out, be like, "Holy moly, that reel is hilarious. I hope you're okay. Look like you hurt your foot, whatever." Right? And then next thing you know, we're having a conversation. Now they're in my CRM. Now all my behind the scenes automation is happening. We're following up. Before you know it, we're out looking at houses, right?
yeah.
But so many realtors just post the same stuff, which is fine, but there's a reason like my social media is growing, and again, it's because people like the content, a bit of behind the scenes of I'm a human too. This is what I like to do on the weekends. I'll still post sold properties and coming soons for social proof. I think it's important to back it up a little bit, and when your feed is like lots of solds and stuff, that helps, right? um, but I think you know, delivering high quality content that's a little different, whether it's funny or it's very, very educational, whatever your brand is, I think that's huge. And it seems to be working, thank goodness. You know?
Well, you jump a bunch of hurdles of the sales process by finding people that way. Like when I first started going, I did a lot of door knocking, cold calling. So I had to track people down. And then after they had a little bit of interest in real estate, I had to get them to know me and
Yeah.
like me and trust me. And there was a long process, a lot of pain, a lot of rejection. When they come to you through your social media, like they already like you and they
Right.
already get to feel like they know you because you're showing. Now you just got to get them to trust you by being, doing what you said you were going to do, right? And it's a lot less hurdles to have to jump over, and I think it gives you that opportunity to work with more people and have more energy for the people you get to work with because you're not wasting it on people that are just not a fit with you, right? If someone's like, "Oh,
Love
I
that.
hate I hate people that are out there on," well, then they're not going to call you and they're not going to work with you, and you get to spend your time like working with someone that's excited to be, out looking at houses with you. Which, I mean, I'm sure you've left meetings where you felt drained by people, and other you
Yeah.
leave and you're like energized, right?
Yeah.
And I just find when you work with people that like you already through social media, like you leave the meeting just energized, full of fun,
You,
excited. I
you
don't know. Do you find that, or you?
I 100% agree, and you hit on so many golden nuggets right there. So much value. Like we all want to work with our ideal client, right? But so many times I've met a new client and they're asking me questions about my dog. Like, hey, we saw a rip on social media. But we have, as realtors, we have to understand when we make a connection with somebody, they're looking into who we are, right?
Oh yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I go out with a new set of clients, whether it's a listing appointment or a buy consultation, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, we know all about you. We were all over your social media. We think you're so fun." And the people who don't like me, hey, maybe I don't want to work with those folks. You know what I mean? So, and I
Yeah.
find, yeah, like they already know me because of social. And if realtors don't think people are looking us up and Googling us and checking our social media profiles, they're nuts because they are. People are looking into who we are as people, who we are as realtors, and well, what we're all about, right?
Well, that information's available for people, and if you have nothing out there, or if you have very little, like people when they see you do one thing, they assume that's how you do everything, right? And so if you have this social media, and the last post was from July of 2019, like they're going to assume, oh, this person's not really that active, right? Maybe they're
Right.
super busy with other stuff, but like if you have that public profile, people are looking at it, and they're just gonna be like, okay, I'm on the fence now about this person. Versus
Sure.
they go on there and they see you and they're like, wow, like this person was on here yesterday. Like they're active, they're busy. And it's crazy in this business, people want to work with people that are busy.
A hundred percent.
Like they don't
100%.
want to work with someone that's like,
Yeah.
can, oh, my entire day is open. Like No, they want someone who's like, I want someone who knows what they're doing. They're busy. They're successful. Like, there's a reason why those people are on that, $1 million listing and things like that. Like, now everyone who's a celebrity wants to work with them too, right? It's the same thing with our clients.
Funny story. Last I think it was last Tuesday, somebody reached out to me on Instagram, and they said, "Hey, we see how busy you are. Is there any chance you can squeeze in a few minutes to come see our house? We're thinking about selling." I walked in there, and I felt like, well, I already knew I was going to get the listing because I walk into every listing just assuming I'm going to get it because we have to
Mm-hmm.
have confidence, right? Do I
Yep.
always get them? No, but I usually do, right? But I walked in there and they're like, "Hey, we've been following you for a while. You are crushing it. You must be the busiest realtor in Calgary." I am not, right? But because of that social proof, and I'm consistently on there, they actually had that impression that we'd be so lucky to have you work with us. And of course, I walked out of there with the listing. It's a 900K listing coming up.
Yeah.
900K because of social media. It cost me $0, right? It's
That's the
killer.
part that blows people's mind. Like, that's what I love about this business now. Like, when I first started, it was like you felt like there it was going to take a long time to start making money in real estate, and you had certain things, had to put your dues in and do this. But now it's like, if someone has a lot of value to show, they can get it out to more people. And that's what I like about social media. Like, there's obviously negatives about social media, but the positives are like, it gives you that opportunity. If you're a realtor like yourself and you've got value to give people, and a personality that people like, you don't have to go through and phone 100 people to get one person that maybe wants to meet. Like, you can put it out there and have lots of people consuming it. um, that's one thing. Like, that's why I think, like, I think you'll end up wanting to do YouTube a bit more,
That's
as
something
you
I'm
go
starting to
on,
explore. And I
because it
actually
stays forever, which is
I
great.
just went out and I purchased my first lighting kit, so I'm learning all
Okay.
about 3 point lighting. And like I'm a sucker for learning and getting better.
Yeah.
It really drives me, motivates me. And recently I enrolled in a small kind of film taking course. It's all over my head, but you know what? I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna
Yeah.
suck for a while, but eventually, in 10 years, it's gonna be pretty good, I figure. So look out, the YouTube channel is coming, and I'm looking forward to putting some epic content out there. So that's the next strategy, the next thing on my list.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting, because what I love about YouTube is, like, like, Instagram, a lot of that stuff disappears
Yeah.
within 24 hours or 48 hours, right? But
Yep.
the YouTube, you put it out there, like, that's there for a long time for people to consume, right? And that's what's cool. And you can also, you know, you can give people the content they're looking for, because you can just reverse engineer. You can go on Google and you can see what it is that people want to know about real estate, right? And then you just
Yep.
give them what they're looking for, right? And yeah, YouTube's awesome. I'm glad to hear you're getting into TikTok as well. And the thing is, like, some people will sit in inaction because they'll be like, "Oh, TikTok's a fad." And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it burns out. I don't know. Maybe the US government shuts them completely down. It doesn't work anymore. But the tools you learn can translate to whatever's the next thing, right? Like, you're learning how to use cameras better. You're telling me, if, I don't know, the government shuts down YouTube, they're like, they're too powerful, we're shutting YouTube down. Something else will rise up, take its place. The skills you have will work there. And that's the thing, when people sit in an action, drives me nuts, because, like, you're out there, you're learning. It's not a waste of time because you're learning.
For sure, for sure. I think these are just tools that cast such a big net, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, people who door knock or make cold calls, man, respect. That's hard. I've never actually tried it, but I can appreciate how hard that must be. And people who've done that in their careers and had results, again, nothing but respect. But I feel with social media, you throw out a really, really good bit of content, you might get several thousand views. Are all those people looking to buy? Hell no. But if you consistently throw stuff out there, and people engage and people kind of like their stuff, at some point, there's a high likelihood they're going to be in the market, or their friend or their brother, their sister, their dog walker, and they're going to think of that guy. Hey, that Derek guy ain't so bad. He might be a big jerk, I don't know, but he seems okay. Top of mind,
Yeah.
right? But I think another big strategy is, yeah, we're realtors, but what else are we? Like, so I'm Derek the realtor who's an ex-cop. I'm big time into fitness. I have a blast traveling with my girlfriend, and I love my kids. And I'm a funny dude, I think, sometimes.
Your
Some people,
kids don't think so, but other
kids don't
people
think
do,
so,
right?
girlfriend don't think so. But I think so. But I mean, again, my plan is just to keep putting stuff out there, and my following is growing. Again, I'm getting leads left, right, and center from this, and combined with my other lead gen, strategies. I mean, it's just a piece to the bigger puzzle. I
Mhm.
don't put all my eggs in the same basket with social. Now, having that said, I have since January. Everything I've done this year has been on social media, and I'm over 50 transactions right now.
Mhm.
And I've only been in the
That's
business
amazing.
for 15 months. I've been in this business.
Yeah.
15 months. So that's cool, but I'm trying to explore and learn, proper lead gen, because as realtors, we only have one job, and that's to attract leads, right?
Yeah.
And then of course we deliver the best client service, and we do what we need to do, and transparency, honesty, integrity. We do our thing, and we do a great job, and then we get referrals. Life is good, but we have to attract leads. And I just think social media can cast such a wide net. It's free, pretty much. You start buying fancy mics and cameras. I mean, sure, a few $100, but for the most part, I would say the ROI is pretty significant. Even if you were to get one deal from social media an entire year, and your average commission is $8,000 to $10,000, I would say that's pretty much worth it.
When you don't need fancy equipment to start, right?
You
Like that's the thing.
don't.
Like you need your cell phone, grab a friend,
Yep.
whatever it is. Like you do it for free. Maybe at some point you're like, okay, I'm going to upgrade, right? But you don't have to start that way. You don't have to sit around and wait till you have the best equipment. You can just get
Agree.
started with what you have. No one's probably watching the first few anyway, so don't worry about it. Just put out some content, get better, improve your equipment. You'll improve. Like it's fun to watch the progression. Are there? Got a question. Like you said, sometimes takes you quite a few takes, but do you ever save some of the bloopers? You got some good ones that you're going to share with us coming up?
Yeah, you know what? I've been working on some blooper reels. Yeah, 100%. There's some.
Okay,
Oh,
that's awesome. You might cringe at first, but people are gonna love it, and they love the transparency, right? Like
yeah.
you're getting a hold of someone to handle maybe the biggest transaction of your life, and if they can be transparent about some of their own shortcomings or mistakes, I mean, I think it makes it easier for them to want to work with you because they're going to be like, look, hey, he was able to share this. I mean, that's someone I can trust, right?
Yeah,
They were able to
for
put this
sure.
out there, so
For
that's
sure.
really cool. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show. We're going to make sure to share your social information on here. So if you do get that YouTube up and running, make sure you share with us because we'd love to check out what you got there because so far Instagram content has been awesome. And make sure that's in
Dude.
our notes here to have all your social information because you got to check Derek out. It's a lot of fun. And he's sharing just it's him. That's what I was attracted to. I was like, man, it's you could tell that's you putting it out there. People are obviously enjoying it. So thanks so much for being on the show and keep on doing what you're doing and we'll watch for you on YouTube and TikTok coming up as well.
Seriously, a huge thank you for letting me be a part of this. I'm always looking to learn from everybody. I don't care if someone's been on the job for a day. I'll pick their brain and learn. So thank you for connecting. I've got a bazillion questions for you off camera so I can
Sure.
learn to become a better realtor. But for now, this is the best career in the world. I'm having a blast, and thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Thanks so much.